And with that bill now law, what's in it for you? Our Brendan Kirby had a hefty reading assignment and breaks it down.
There are a lot of provisions in the new budget bill that apply to businesses, but we thought that we'd focus on the taxes and benefits that apply to individuals and families. We should start with personal income tax rates. Congress cut them during President Donald Trump's first term, but they were scheduled to revert back to the previous levels. With this act, they will remain lower across the board. Here's some other things that some of you have commented on.
How damaging this bill will be to their quality of life.
Critics of the budget bill signed into law Friday cite a multitude of objections. Here are some of them and what the text of the law says.
A lot of people are going to lose Medicaid funding with this bill.
That's the federal health program for the poor. Democrats claim almost 12 million people will lose health care. The bill doesn't change the income eligibility requirements. Instead, it imposes new requirements that critics say some people have difficulty complying with. It requires able-bodied recipients to work, attend school, or volunteer 80 hours a month. But critics say it's hard to know where to draw the line on who is disabled enough to be exempt from the work requirement. The bill also requires states to check for eligibility every 6 months to prevent people from double enrolling in more than one state's Medicaid program and remove illegal immigrants or others who don't qualify. It also makes changes to the Affordable Care Act that reduce federal funds to states that choose to cover immigrants who may not qualify under federal rules.
He's taken away so much from people. He's taken away food.
That's a reference to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, commonly called food stamps. As with Medicaid, the law doesn't change eligibility, but includes work requirements for able-bodied recipients and extends those work requirements from the current cutoff age of 54 to 64. It exempts pregnant women and parents with children younger than 14. It also limits eligibility to citizens and legal immigrants in most cases. And it shifts some of the costs to the states.
The tax cuts that they have made for folks who make an awful lot of money, those tax cuts are permanent. Those are the ones that should be temporary. Let those folks who work in a service industry that most of us would not want to, let them benefit from the tax cuts because they need them.
That's a reference to the much talked about provision reducing taxes on tips. And indeed, those are set to expire in 2028. That's also the case with two other changes. Let's look at all three. No tax on tips. Taxpayers can deduct up to $25,000 in tips on their tax returns. This starts phasing out on incomes greater than $150,000 for individuals and $300,000 for couples. There are provisions designed to prevent regular income from being reclassified as tips. No tax on overtime. Taxpayers will be able to deduct overtime income up to a $12,500 limit, $25,000 for couples. This also phases out for wealthier taxpayers. Trump accounts. This will be a savings program for all babies born in the United States during Trump's second term. The government will make a one-time $1,000 contribution, and families can contribute up to $5,000 a year. The money can't be used until the child turns 18. There are other adjustments to the existing tax code that will affect millions of Americans. For instance, the standard deduction is going up from $15,000 to $15,750 for singles and from $30,000 to $31,500 for couples. Those limits will automatically rise with inflation. And the child tax credit will go from $2,000 to $2,200. It also will rise with inflation. There is a lot more in this bill that we just don't have time to go through tonight, but we will continue to go over some of the items that concern many of you. Reporting in the News Center, Brendan Kirby, Fox 10 News.